Oh, how's it going, guys and gals? Thanks for coming back and watching another CraigTube video. Look at how clear that is. Look, that's nice. You know, I mean, it doesn't have to be clear, but just the fact that it is, you wouldn't really know that that was a home brew, would you? In fact, it's just a Cooper's it's a Cooper's Canadian Blonde beer kit. It's a very clean beer. There's not a lot of flavor, but there's no off flavors or appley flavors because the yeast I've been using for about a year now. Same yeast. I love it. I just keep on recycling it and using it over and over again. It's beautiful. And you can do a simple beer like this and get good flavor just for a simple, hack beer. There's nothing wrong with this. Certainly tastes better than the corn beer I get from the beer store. Now, that is not really the reason I'm making this video. This video is kind of something that some of you may have been expecting. It's a response to something that occurred early in January. This is January 2020. Something that happened earlier this month. Some of you may know that I'm a big fan of Rush, and not everybody likes Rush, but a lot of people love Rush, and a lot of people don't. But it doesn't matter. I love them, and I love their music, and being a drummer myself, of course, that's part of the reason why I started listening to them. I started playing the drums when I was 8 years old, and probably by the time I was 13, I heard Moving Pictures, Rush Moving Pictures, the album, and it blew me away. It blew me away. I had heard Rush before that. My brother, he bought Rush albums. He had 2112, Farewell to Kings, Hemispheres, and whatnot. And him and his buddies used to sit around, and listen to these Rush albums. And so when he wasn't home one day, because being the younger brother, I wanted to be like my brother. So I would, when he wasn't around, I'd get them out, put them on, and try to figure out what the big deal was. And I didn't really get it. I was like, why? What? I don't understand what he's listening to this for. Well, I don't get it. Because I was more into Supertramp. I was more into top 40 stuff mostly too. I listened to a lot of radio and that. So, but when I was 13 years old, a friend of mine put on Moving Pictures, and I heard Tom Sawyer. I mean, if you've ever heard Tom Sawyer, that's the best song ever, man. The best rock song ever. But it just blew my mind, especially the drums. So here I am. I've already been playing the drums for 5 years, and I hear Neil Peart playing Tom Sawyer. And I very quickly fell in love with Rush. So then I went back home and listened to all the other albums again. It's like, oh, I get it now. Okay, I see what's going on here. So, been a big Rush fan ever since, and I learned how to play the drums, from listening to Rush. So, I've been, modeling my playing, sort of, after the drummer, Neil Peart. Well, unfortunately, Neil Peart has died, and that's why I'm making this video. He died, early this month, January 2020. He had been suffering from, a brain cancer for the last 3 years, and he didn't tell anybody. I mean, he told his friends, of course, and his bandmates, but he didn't make it public. That's what he was like. He was a very private man, and he didn't want all the kerfuffle and hoopla going around him about, oh, Neil Peart, he's got, So he let it become a secret until he was gone, and he didn't have to deal with it all. So now there's a lot of videos, and when it happened, when I found out, I mean, I was shocked. This is a drummer that he's probably the best rock drummer ever, arguably, okay? Because it depends on, there's lots of different styles of drumming, but the guy, his whole attitude towards everything he did was just to make the best out of every moment of every day and to make the best out of every situation. And he put that into his drumming. And so, you know, this is what I've got, so this is what I can do, you know, kind of thing. Of course, he had one of the biggest drum kits around. I mean, he had, you know, a lot of drums around him. And, okay, so I was in a chat room. I was in watching a broadcast on Vaughn Live. And I was in a chat room and just chatting away. And all of a sudden, one of our fellow chatters just came out and said, Neil Peart has died. It's Peart, by the way, not Peart, but okay. I think sometimes down in the South, they say Peart, but it's actually, he pronounces it Peart. So he said that the guy in the chat room said he died, and of course I immediately, very rudely came back and said, no, he's not. He's not dead. Like, what the hell are you talking about, kind of thing. And then, of course, I brought up a Google search engine. I typed, you know, sure enough, yeah, he had passed away. And that day, or 3 days earlier, it was just published that day. And so I went back to the chat room and I went, oh my God, you know, I couldn't believe it. And I was shocked. And I apologized to the fellow that had said it. I said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, you know, to do that. I just couldn't believe it. Like, it was a surprise to everybody. So it kind of went in and it kind of went, I was like, oh man, that's not good. That's bad. That guy was my idol. I idolized his drumming. I idolized he was the lyricist for Rush as well. He wrote all the lyrics, 99% of them. You know, you listen to a Rush song, you know, like The Trees or Cygnus X1 or whatever, you listen to those lyrics, look them up on YouTube or on Google, look up the lyrics for Rush songs. Guy was a genius. So, you know, it went in and it was like, oh, geez, that's bad. That's not good. I mean, Rush had already, you know, retired and they weren't making any more music, but this was not a good thing. And then, like, that night, like 8-10 hours later, after, you know, that was over and my broadcast was over and I was eating my supper at 5 o'clock in the morning, I was watching some YouTube videos about it and I started to cry. And I realized what a loss this is to us drummers especially, but also the fans of the band Rush. And the things, you know, in watching the videos of people doing what I'm doing right now, you know, talking about it, was enough. And then reading the comments below the videos, it broke me up, man. The things that people were saying about him, I'm breaking up right now even. The things that people were saying about him. The respect and love that we've, especially us drummers, but obviously as well the Rush fans worldwide, the respect that we had for this man as it's really one of the backbones of Rush. It came out. It's like I didn't realize what people thought about this guy. I mean, we had big bearded, you know, tough big bearded guys, you know, on YouTube like crying. So I mean, I know we've lost a lot of people like in the last few years, and 5 years, 10 years, whatever. You know, George Michael Jackson, you know. Tom Petty. I mean, I could go on and on and on. David Bowie and all that. I know, you know, and those were disappointing to me, and I was very sad. But nothing has touched me so far as much as the loss of my idol, Neil Peart. And I'm, you know, even right now, it's been weeks, and I'm still now making this video. I'm still fighting, you know, breaking down, crying. So I had to do this because, and I didn't want to capitalize on it. I mean, I could have done it the first night. I could have cammed up and just went, oh my God, have you heard the news? You know, Neil Peart died and everything. And I just thought, no, because, and I don't have anything against the people who did that, because I watched those videos and they helped me realize, you know, what the fuck's just happened and how serious it is to us fans. But I just decided to wait and let it like sink in a little and just let the everything calm down before I made a video on it. And a few people asked me, hey Craig, you know, you're a drummer, you like Rush, or are you going to say something about this? Well, I'm here to say that I'm very, very saddened by this. And one of my practically lifelong heroes has died. And there's so much that that means to me, that I'm sure I'm going to continue to discover the sense of absence that I'm going to feel as time goes on, as we realize, oh shoot, you know, he's gone. There's no more Neil Peart. I mean, I know he wasn't playing anymore. He was retired. He had problems with his, wrists and arthritis, and he moved to California. He married a woman. They had a daughter, and he was just kind of trying to enjoy the rest of his life. And he had just sort of done that, like retired from Rush, and not like 2-3 years later, he found out he had cancer. So it kind of sucks. And for those of you who don't know, Neil, it was at the early 2000s. I'm sorry, I don't have the timeline in front of me. He lost his wife to cancer, and he lost his daughter in a car accident within a very short, like a 6-month or something time span. So the guy lost everything, and he went on a long. He was a bike ride. He was a biker. Well, not a biker, but he was a motorcycle rider. And he went on this big, long cross-country bike trek. And he wrote a book called Vapor Trails. So he had to get away from everything. He said, okay, I can't handle this. I'm getting on the bike and I'm just going to ride my ass off for like a year or whatever, however long it was. And then he wrote his book, Vapor Trails, and then they put out an album called Vapor Trails, which I'm not familiar with. I have to admit that I wasn't really that much into the later Rush albums. I was more into the early and mid-Rush stuff. They went down a sort of a path that I didn't necessarily like in their later years, but that's fine. That's what bands do, especially they were around for, 50 or however many, 40 some years. I'm not good at dates, okay? So just forgive me for the numbers, but so, that was unfortunate for him, but he got back with Rush and they got back together and they did their thing. And anyway, if you're not familiar with the guy, even if you don't like Rush, because that's fine. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't like Geddy Lee is the singer and the bass player. A lot of people don't like his voice, and I understand that, and he does too. He understands that, it's different. It's a different kind of voice. He's a very good singer, actually. As a singer myself, I can tell you that he's actually a good singer. He's just got a different tonal quality to his voice that some people don't like, and that's fine. I don't mind it at all. It's fine with me. It's it doesn't bother me at all. But if you don't like them, then just at least look it up on YouTube and watch the guy talk. Neil Peart. Watch him talk. Watch his brain work when he talks and when he says things and the way he articulates his words and sentences, and his ideas. And he's such a nice guy. He's a super nice guy. He really, all three of them are. There's Neil Peart, Geddy Lee, and Alex Lifeson. the three members of Rush. They're all of them are so nice. And if you don't necessarily like the band, at least go on YouTube and find interviews with them. Lots of times you'll find Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee together. Neil was kind of didn't like to be part of the whole fan thing and everything, he was more of a private person, but you'll see him being interviewed and just listen to the guys talk. They're so nice and they're so smart. I mean, just take a listen to the song La Villa Strangiato. Huh. There's no singing in it, so you don't have to worry about Geddy's voice. Just listen to it. Listen to the bass solo, listen to the drums, the guitar work, the lead solo. If you like rock music, you've got to like the song La Villa Strangiato. It's a progressive rock song, and that's what they were, a progressive rock band. Anyway, I don't want to make this too long, and I didn't want it to get all emotional and everything, although it sort of did, but I want to raise my glass to one of my few big heroes. Neil Peart died at the age of 67 years old. And he's up there playing that big drum set in the sky. And I'm not happy about it. It's not like I expected the group to ever get back together or anything, because I don't think they ever would have. But it's just, as a drummer, it touches hard. It touches deep. And any drummer that you can, talk to who knows, who knows the guy will tell you that this is not happy. We, as a drum community, will miss him very, very, very much, because most of us were influenced by him a lot. I have his playing style, Neil Peart. Of course, I can't play like Neil Peart, but a lot of the things that I do on the drums and the fills that I do and the decisions I make while I'm playing are based on having listened to him so intently over most of my lifetime, and I picked up stuff that he does and incorporated it into my own style of playing. And so, he lives on in many, many of us, because a lot of us drummers picked up stuff from him, and others too. So, he made a big, big difference in a lot of our lives, and he wrote some amazing lyrics, and I'll miss him. So that's my Neil Peart tribute. Thank you for listening. Other than that, I will let you go, and I have other Q&A videos ready to be posted very soon, so I'm sorry they were delayed, but life happens. You want to buy some t-shirts? Go to tgtshirts.com and have a look around, see what's there. My shirts are available. My merch and dice. They call it merch now. It's merchandise. No, it's merch. Got any merch? Where's your merch? Merchandise, dude. Okay? Anyway, it's all over at tgtshirts.com. And if you like this channel, please subscribe. Click that bell over there, because that'll let you know when I post a new video. You'll never miss a video if you click that bell. Make it so it looks like it's ringing. And that's that. Thumbs up too if you want. If you want to see me play the drums, well, I do a live broadcast every Friday night starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. Vaughn.live/CraigTube. I play songs, I play music, I do stuff. It's like radio. And then every once in a while I hop on the drums. And I've got my Roland electronic drums over there. What are they? The KD17? Is that the model? I can't remember right now. But and I start beating the crap out of those every once in a while. So if you want to see that, well, tune on Friday night, and you don't have to sign in. You can just lurk and watch and listen and hopefully enjoy. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your support and everything. And post comments down below about your experiences with Rush, listening to Rush, and if you knew about this and your opinions on Neil and his playing and his lyrics and all that good stuff. Let's have a conversation down there. I do read the comments and I do respond to them periodically, so I appreciate if you do that. All right. Thanks. Happy brewing. Happy brewing. Look at that, eh? Cheers to you and yours, and see you real soon. Thank you. 17.